I'm now joined by Dr. Paul Alaje to offer critical insights into Nigeria's latest inflation figures as released by the National Bureau of Statistics and the suspension of the 4% free on-board levy on imports. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight. Good to see you.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Okay, so much to unpack. I mean, it's not too much if we focus all of tonight on inflation figures, how it's impacting agriculture and all of that. But first off, I mean, while some actually hail the figures coming from the NBS, some say, look, empty pots don't lie. Hunger, not statistics, is Nigeria's true inflation figures. Now, what we're getting from NBS, is it a true reflection of the state of affairs as far as, you know, I mean, whether it's inflation we're talking about or the stability of the, you know, the Naira as it's reflecting on the economy? Is it a true reflection of where we are now?
Yeah, okay. So, first of all, what did Bureau of Statistics say?
Yeah.
20.12% from 21%. That's headline inflation. Month on month, Bureau of Statistics says, you saw his 0.74 from 1.12.
Right.
And when you look at food inflation, 21.8%. 0.87%. Right. And if you look at core inflation, 20.33%. Those were the numbers released by Bureau of Statistics. Many may be wondering, why are we not feeling the impact? Or does it really reflect? It's not 100%. Because even Bureau of Statistics is saying that food prices increased, however, is only by 20%. So when you see inflation number, it shows the percentage of increase when you compare it to last year. Yeah. It does not mean that prices reduced. That's not what he's saying.
Okay.
He's saying price increased by 20% of what it was this time last year. That's what he's saying. So it's an increase. However, Bureau of Statistics is saying that this increase is not as much as what we saw last year, between last year and the year before. And the answers are very simple. Yes, we have seen stability in exchange rate. As exchange rate has remained around 1.516 for a long time. We have also seen that we are in harvest season. So because of harvest season, you are going to see high food supply, which of course will help with what we have. We have also seen some states, which includes, for instance, Enugu State, started building parks. We can help what's it called? Distribution of food and ease with which commodities or foods can get to the main market from one point to another. We are seeing similar things being started by Plateau State government. We have also seen what Lagos has done in terms of logistics. So we are seeing pockets of activities, but can we intensify on this? But what is the real issue? There are concerns. What are the concerns? Which, of course, why many are not feeling the impact of what is happening. Food prices are still generally high, even though we have seen some reduction in some prices. The question is, why is it? The kind of harvest we should have had is not what we're having. We still have high security issues in so many other places. A couple of months back, you saw what happened in Benue, you saw what happened in Plateau, you saw what happened in Edo, and a few other places where there have been concerns around the farms. And we also still have quite a number of others, including logistics, bad roads. You know, when a farmer comes out with harvest, we need to move those things to places where they will be consumed. Where we farm them is not where we consume them for most of the time. We have to move them. Cost of transportation and cost of materials for car maintenance, truck maintenance, and the method of transportation are some of the factors that are contributing to this.
And of course, fuel price.
And fuel price, which of course is something. And that is why I'm hoping that Dangote Refinery and the other organization, the labor organization, we have common ground. If we don't, the fastest way for us to see high inflation or a resurgence of high inflation will be not to resolve the crisis. And another thing is, yes, the numbers is saying, the thing is reducing, but Nigeria are saying that, the price of salt in the market is still very high. The price of sugar in the market is still very high.
The price of yam.
The price of yam is still very high. So it's not really adding up. So when we talk about basket of commodity, we mean there are a number of commodity in a basket. Some of them might be low, some of them might be the same, some of them might be high. What we are looking at is the average. So definitely there are some commodities that are higher, but there are some that may also be lower compared to what they were this time last year.
So why are we not feeling this across board? I mean, regardless of what commodities we're talking about.
So the feeling is because of base year effects, and it's important Nigerians understand this. Base year effect simply means that we are comparing this year to last year, mark you. But what is the base year of last year? We have adjusted the parameter for measurement, so it will never be the same. Since we took that decision, 10% first disappear from inflation, from 34 to 24%. And do you call that improvement? That's not an improvement, that's an adjustment.
Which the NBS actually said that, look, the significant decline that we're seeing is,
as a result,
is technical due to the, change in the base year.
Exactly. So you will see that. And my advice, I see a lot of economists say central banks should start considering reducing monetary policy rates. I want the rates reviewed yesterday, but be careful, because what you are dealing with in econometrics is a shock. So you cannot make decision based on outlier. If you try it and we reduce rate, which we should, if you ask me, but because the environment is uncertain, which base are we using? We are comparing apple with banana. It cannot add up. So that's why, again, even though we have some items that have reduced, but it's not based on the quantum report of reduction that has been reported that people are feeling. Until we are on year, I think this started around March or April. When we get to that point and we're able to compare, we can now say that this is what true picture of inflation is. I know that there'll be a time where we run into this, where people feel, 5 consecutive times. But what has happened to a number of things? School fees, people are resuming. Pupils, is it increasing or is it reducing? House rent, is it increasing or is it reducing? So, some other furniture, for instance, and some other food items that we consume. You mentioned yam, what is happening to cassava, and so many others. Some of them truly might have reduced, but some of them have increased, while some have remained the same. So this is the reality of it. So because people we want to compare, go to the same market, you certainly see price of onions. It depends on the season you are, or pepper. It might increase, it might reduce.
But what about the more stable Naira? We're seeing some stability around the currency.
Is a big deal, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that
official rate is now around, it's lower than 1,500, more than it's been in a while.
For me, I am happy that we are yielding to the voice of reason. Before now, we said we're going to float. Every economy, especially developing country and most of Africa, that you want to float your currency, it will float away, it will evaporate. You just see that you are seeing 10,000 against the dollar, 5,000 against the dollar, 3,000. But what you need to do is that have some level of cover, import cover. Nigeria is around 10 now. We are approaching 11. If we grow like this, we approach a full year. There is no currency that does not have some form of defense. So we must. But we will not come all out to be defending Naira every corner. Right. My concern is this effort haven't said that we need to find some level of support, which we are doing now. Because I can tell you, from observation and the report we are getting, we are not longer doing absolute flotation. Right. We are now in managed float. But the challenge, which I think central bank should watch, and President Tinubu is his administration, he needs to watch. We are getting to pre-election year. That is the year where Naira get depreciated the most.
Why
and
is
anybody,
that?
politician will want to give delegates money, and it's usually in the dollar. They want to give party faithful money, election money. Most of them comes in the dollar. Let us have a difference, this administration, by saying no. Why? Because we came from a very bad situation. Right. We are trying to work on it to improve the situation. If we don't protect it, honestly, it might get out of hand. And for this, all government agencies should be involved. Anti-graft agencies, central bank, of course, should champion this. Right. Because at the end of the day, it is politicians we are talking about. And we know how influential politicians can be in the issue on Nigeria economy. So we need to find a way around that, so that at least we have 8 years stretch. Because most of the time, Naira usually have crisis every 4, maximum 8 years. Every election cycle. So if you can fight this through, which I'm thinking that the president and his team can do something to ensure that we don't, a number of things. First of all, lead by example. Second of all, political parties under their umbrella, maybe IPAC, start champion, and civil society, my friends, my colleagues in civil society, we need to start championing Spend Naira. Whatever you want to do, maybe you want to do posters, you want to do anything, INEC should also join in saying Spend Naira, even though that's not the core INEC mandate. But at the end of the day, when this does not happen, the Naira in your pocket will buy less. Inflation will take significant proportion of money that you have. We will now come back and say we want to start resetting the economy. You can go and look at the trend of Nigeria devaluation from recent history, 1998, 1999 till date. Check, at those election points, after election, just pre-election, election year, or maximum a year after election, Naira start having crisis. Those who have tried to battle it have really tried to battle what exchange rate is. But we will do it again, commit that own goal 2026, 27, 2028 will depend on the policy and government willingness, fiscal authority and monetary authority, to partner with central bank, the two of them to partner together to ensure we don't witness the kind of purification or a dollarization of our economy.
The dollarization of the Nigerian economy. Very quickly, we heard from the federal government. Tope Fasho actually said that inflation will soon hit the single digit. He's that optimistic. Are you that optimistic? What do we need to do?
Well,
because he's saying, look, Ghana experienced it, Kenya and a few other countries, that they are now experiencing single digit inflation.
Well, Dr. Fashua is a very good friend, and he speaks for government. I'm not on that side, but as a very good friend.
Are you as optimistic as he is?
No, so I'd say you have to be very cautious, and we have personal talks, so you have to be very cautious. Why you have to be very cautious is simple. If you think it will be there, talks don't get things done, work get things done. Monetary authority must get involved in this, and I've seen our central bank have been adamant in reducing rates. He said we want to keep watching it, and I think that decision, even though very thoughtful, but might help for us to determine more so that we're having shock on one side. On the second side, if you want that to happen, what are the key things? It's not to have it. President Jonathan single digit, President Buhari came. It was never single
track. What are the key things that must happen?
So what we must have is that we must look at how do we guarantee supply. What are the things fueling inflation? Food inflation remains the driver. Right. Can we give him a red card by saying leave the driver's seat of inflation? What do we do? Ensure there is security in food production zone. Number two, ensure there are adequate logistics. Number three, you cannot of any form increase energy costs, including electricity. When you do that, you will score an own goal. That is, instead of making your economic progress, inflation, to reduce, you might actually re-energize your inflation. Apart from that, so I'm talking of medium and long-term goal. Why is it that every 3 years, 4 years, we have inflation crisis? Because when there's any global shock, it has implications on us. You know why? Significant proportion of our imports are finished goods. There is no wrong to import equipment, manufacturer goods, raw materials, at least heavy duties to Nigeria that we need to now do further production. But most of the time, not my figure, but of statistics, larger proportion of our imports are unfinished
and
goods.
We need to check that.
How to change that is to go build factories, to go energize manufacturers. The richest in Nigeria should be manufacturers all over the country.
Paul, I'm being wrapped up, but suspension of the 4% free on board levy on imports, what exactly does that mean?
I think it means...
What will it do?
So what it will do is that if we are using that for critical goods that we need in Nigeria, it will help also reduce price. Okay. Because if that is not done, then people will pass it on. Some of people are already saying that, the new tax regime, whatever I'm charged, I will pass on to final consumer. So my advice to Nigeria, instead of being the final consumer, get something to do, be able to pass the pressure to the next person.
It's a very good place to live it. Dr. Paul Alaje is an economist. Thank you very much for your brilliant insights on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you so much.